What's up, guys? It's AD here, and today we're going to be talking about Ningguang. I think that she is criminally underrated in the Genshin community. I think that a lot of people are putting her at the bottom of tier lists just because they don't know how to actually play her, or they haven't put enough thought into playing her. But she's actually one of the best 4-stars in the entire game, and she's an incredible main damage dealer. And so I kind of wanted to just talk about that with you guys today. Now, before I get started, I do want to say, yes, I've got her max constellationed out. I've wailed on this game. I've got like really great weapons, but I haven't like maxed her out or anything like that. I'm not even gonna like really dive into specifically the weapons that I'm using, or you know, the artifacts and stuff like that, because I'm really not like, I haven't put in, you know, I haven't maxed her out in terms of actual like level investment, because everybody knows you can only invest in so many characters in this game. But that doesn't change anything about this video. I want you guys to understand how good she actually is. So if you're running a free-to-play team, or you're running a whale team, you understand like the value that she actually brings. So I think the biggest thing that people write her off for, number one, is that she's geo damage, and which is understandable because everybody knows a large amount of the damage that you actually deal in this game comes from those elemental interactions like shatter and your overloads and things of that nature. And with geo characters, they only proc crystallize, which just creates an orb that you can pick up for a shield. But that really, I mean, it doesn't, obviously that's stinky that we don't get that, but you're going to see why it doesn't matter too much. We do not build elemental mastery on this character. Do not touch her with elemental mastery. It's literally useless, because what elemental mastery does is it increases damage absorption power of shields created through crystallized by 9.3%. That's all it does for her. Is it just makes her shields absorb more. That has no bearing on our damage at all. All these other things, we aren't able to proc them with her. Shattered is kind of a weird one because for some reason we can actually break shattereds with geo damage, but I don't think we get any kind of damage bonus from it. But that's beside the point. The key thing to be aware of with Ningguang is her main basic attacks and her ultimate. With these, she's like, her damage output is insane. And now you guys have seen already, my weapon is only, you know, it's only level 40, but I can put on any weapon here. It doesn't really matter. And I'll give you some examples in a bit. And with my artifacts, literally, I mean, half these artifacts aren't leveled up. They're literally just placeholders so that I could get this martial artist bonus, which is a really great bonus for her, but really minimal investment in this character. So don't look necessarily at the numbers themselves. Just look at the scaling. Think in your mind the scaling. So her basic attack just fires off these two geo fragments, right? And every time you hit a character with them, they will create a star jade on her back. You see, I created 1, I created 2, now I have 3 orbiting around my back. Now, what these do is when you fire off your charged attack, it fires these off all as well. And the way that her damage scales is like insane, right? So just those normal attacks, they're just normal attacks, they're nothing. But the charge attack, 218% damage. She's only at talent level 4 right now. That's terrible, right? Like that's nothing. But her charge attack damage is still doing 218% plus all of the damage for each star jade. So I have 3 star jades right now. If you max out her constellation, you can make it so you can actually get 7. So, and all of these can individually crit as well. So like you need to start thinking in your mind, like, okay, if I actually invested in this character, not like AD is doing, like I don't really have a ton of investment in her. Think about the amount of damage you can actually output if it's taking 218% of your attack and your geo damage, and each of these individual ones can also all crit at the same time. Like the actual damage output is insane. And so when you couple that with Jade's Screen, which goes and when you fire through it, or when you fire, well, number one, it blocks projectiles, but if you go and you pop your ultimate, which fires a bunch of different gems, okay, and if you have your Jade Screen on, it fires even more gems. It basically makes it so your elemental burst is supercharged. So if you look at her elemental burst, again, it's only rank 5 right here, 115% per gem, okay? but you're firing out a ton of these gems. Now, if you're in an AoE situation and they split up, you do a little bit less damage. But if you're in a one-on-one situation, all of these gems are going to hit the exact same target. And if they all crit, like think about if they all crit, like that's the thing. How you build her is around attack and crit damage, like straight up, and geo damage. Straight up. Now you're probably thinking, man, if I'm just going to be using my charge attacks, then like I'm going to run out of stamina. No, her very first talent, or very first like ascension talent, is that if you use the charge attack when you have any star jades, it costs 0 stamina. Okay, so you can literally just fire. You're like a nuclear launcher. You just keep firing off these bombs. All right, and then her second talent level up is when you shoot these through her jade screen, they gain increased 12% geo damage. And so I think you guys are kind of getting the point where like the way you build her is straight attack, straight crit, and she will pop people. She'll literally pop people. Now, again, I have absolutely dog crap stats on her right now, right? I'm 56. I just put in some effort because I was going to build her up before, but then I had to invest in some other characters for, you know, the adventure book and everything. But I have like terrible stat lines. But the actual like artifacts and stuff that you can build for her, super easy to get, right? Everybody has martial artist pieces lying around. And because all you're going to be using is her normal attacks and her charge attacks, it's super easy to try and find god rolls for her because all you need is crit, 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 crit. That's it. So just for an example, so look, so now I have my star jades. What I can do is I can pop my jade wall. This guy's going to hit those. It doesn't really matter. And you're going to be able to see, like, look, I'm not popping any kind of elemental reactions. I can go and I can pop Mona on him. It's not going to make a difference because all you're going to get is crystallize and gems. So her, again, I have nothing on her. But when she crits, you can see like the potential damage output, right? Like if I actually had like 2k attack like I have on my Diluc, right? Then you're dealing like literally like 4k crits just off the charge attack, and then everything else is hitting for 2k all around it, right? And so let's just dodge this. So her main ability, right? Her element, so this is just her jade screen, which is like, okay. But her Q, her elemental burst is wacko, because you're basically just going and you're single targeting and you're hitting this one dude for everything. And so that all did 647, right? My attack stat is only 775, so that makes sense. Not that much. But if I go and I have, you know, on my Diluc right now, I've got like 2.1k like unbuffed, right? Like think about that. Like every single one of those, you're hitting her like 8 times. And then if you have Jade screen up, it's hitting them additional times. It's firing out more gems. You're hitting for like literally 2 grand like 6 times. You're hitting like you're just consistently like blowing them up. And her ultimate her elemental cooldown and her energy rate is super low. It's down there with the lowest people in the game, like Kashing, 40 energy cost, which is outrageous. And I just want to put into perspective, her charge attack damage, 218% right now at level 4, okay? That's okay, but it's only at level 4. Put that in perspective, my Diluc, right? If I go and I look at his talents, my Searing Onslaught's level 9 right now because I have some constellations. His third hit of a Searing Onslaught is 219 at level 9. Ningguang is able to do that constantly. Like, that's ridiculous. Plus, she fires off all these other things. So if you build her with an insane amount of crit and insane amount of geo damage, her actual potential damage is quite insane. Now, because I have a constellated out, after popping my ult, I have like 7 star gems circling around me. So when I fire off my charged, it's going to hit them for, I mean, it just bursts, like the bursty numbers, guys. The bursty numbers. Like, you got to look at the numbers. Okay? And so when you take into account like all the other elemental buffs that you can put on people, right? Like if you can go and put on Bennett and increase her attack power, or you go and put on Geo Traveler, right? Where is it? I'm trying to think. I think his second constellation. One of these constellations. I don't know which one it is. one of his abilities is essentially that he, if you're near a, if you're near like a wall or whatever, he gets like he gives everybody an additional. Oh, this is it. I'm stupid. Gives everybody increased crit rate by 10%. So if you combine these two together, right, she's going to be able to get just like Kashing, where if you combine her with an electro element, you're going to be able to get that elemental burst back super fast, and he's automatically going to give her 10% increased crit rate, which is pretty outrageous, right? You could also compare her, or not compare her, but you could combine her with Noelle as well if you wanted that, because Noelle is another good character. But I'm just trying to get you guys to understand, like, look, if we actually look into the constellations, right? Her first one, if you're, and she's a 4-star, so it's not out of the realm of possibility if you're free to play that you're going to be able to increase her constellation by a significant amount, right? Her first constellation makes it so all of her normal attacks are AoE. That's outrageous. Okay, second one makes it so when they blow up her jade screen, like say you're in an abyss and you drop her jade screen or something, CD is automatically reset. And that, by the way, has decent scaling as well. If you look at it, it's got like 215% scaling. 288% scaling, excuse me. Okay, it just gets crazier as you actually dive in. And then when Star Shatter's used, is her last one, she gains 7-star jade. So you can basically go pop 3 on them, Star Shatter, pop 7 on them, and then they die. Okay? Like, she is incredibly powerful. Now, a little Ningguang tip, right? Her normal attack is just, every time you do it, you kind of get into this, like, slightly animation cancel, animation lock almost, right? So just trying to explain, if I shoot this is as fast as I can shoot it right now, right? But if I go and hold forward, or I hold W and I fire it off, you actually, she steps forward a little bit every single time and actually animation cancels, so you can fire at a faster speed. So just if you think about it, right, like you're able to do all of this without spending any stamina at all, and it basically takes you like what, 2 seconds to actually get her charged ability back. And so the actual amount of damage she's able to output at like a regular basis is absurd. Now, if we're getting real meta on this, actually, let me first talk about the weapons and artifacts. So weapon-wise, obviously 5 stars are nice, but again, no elemental mastery. We don't want elemental mastery. Elemental damage bonus, I believe, is slightly different. And so you're safe in that regard, but you do not want something that has elemental mastery. You want something that comes with crit rate or attack percentage. And so for that reason, if you're thinking of like actually investing hardcore into her, I don't care if I die right here. Let's do the battle pass. Whoops. No, let's do battle pass. The battle pass weapon is actually really, really good on her because it increases her crit rate, number one, but also every time you hit something with your elemental burst, it's going to increase your normal attack damage by 20%. And every time you hit something with your normal attack, it's going to increase that elemental burst. We don't care about elemental skills much, but this is another great item on her. Again, we just want crit and attack percentage. Now, for other options, that is a fairly free-to-play option if you just grab the battle pass, but obviously the whaling options, you really can't go wrong with either one of these. One gives attack percentage, one gives crit rate. I honestly don't like this Skyward Atlas that much. I don't think the proc is super fantastic. Eye of Perception is another great one because again, you're just getting attack percentage and you're getting a damage proc off of it. But another really good one actually is the Widzith, and basically you kind of roll the dice a little bit when you swap in. Number one, this is giving you massive crit damage, which is really useful on her. But number two, this is at rank 5, but the rank 1, you can see the stats here. But at rank 5, when you swap in, you are going to get a 10-second buff. One of these 3 buffs. You either get increased attack by 120%, increase all elemental damage by 96%, or the one that we don't want, elemental mastery, is increased by 480. Again, not the worst, but not the best. And so really what you're going to be aiming for is anything that has high crit or high attack damage. Now, as far as artifacts are concerned, artifact wise, you're going to want Martial Artist is a fantastic one, obviously, because you're going to just be doing normal attack and charge attack damage. You're obviously going to be doing elemental burst damage, but really the brunt, you just want to increase your outgoing damage significantly. And Martial Artist is a really easy one to just be able to pick up because it's Martial Artist. You can get blue versions of it. You can get everything of it. Another one is obviously just a 2-piece Gladiator set with the Geo set, which I can show you that Geo set real quick. The Geo set comes from here, I believe. Gain 50% damage for Geo, which, again, super useful. So you can go and combine 2 Gladiator, 2 Geo. I'm of the opinion that some of the 4 pieces are not super amazing, and sometimes you can actually get higher damage builds if you just combine two-piece bonuses. So in this case, you're getting increased 15% attack and you're getting increased 15% Geo damage. But again, that's that's kind of up to you. There was one other one where, I mean, this is not that bad. This increases your normal attack damage and your charge attack by 40% when you're shielded, which if you want to play that way with Ningguang, you can be shielded, I mean, almost all the time, right? So that basically covers her from a gearing perspective and a talent perspective. I hope you guys can understand just like how her scaling works. And I really hope that, if you're running free to play teams or something like that, or you have her, now you kind of think about her in a slightly different way. Sorry if the video went on a little bit too long, but I did want to just get everything out there so everybody can understand why she is really good. Another thing, my last thing I will say, just from a looking forward perspective, right? Zhang Li is on the horizon. He's the new character that's going to be coming out probably in the next month or two. And he is a Geo support character, it seems like. And one of his things is he can create this status called Petrify, which increases Geo and normal attack damage onto targets. So just keep that in perspective. If you invest in her, down the line, there will be another support character coming to back her up that would significantly increase her attack power again. So with that being said, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if it went on too long, but I want to just put out some content without having to edit too much. So I just figured I would kind of just, throw it all out there and see if you guys enjoyed this style as well. Let me know what you want to see next. I have every single 5-star in the game. And I have a lot of the 5-star weapons as well. I can go through all of them. I really just wanted to get to a point in the game where I could actually share knowledge without, talking out of my butt. And I think I'm at that point. So, again, if you like this, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see down below. And that's it for me. Also, I'm gonna put some. I'm gonna try and find some like footage of some Ningguangs that are actually like geared out, just so you can see the full damage potential of her, because it's quite insane. But that's it. Adam D out.